Hey there, everybody. Alright, so it's been a little while, so I figured I would give you guys a little update on myself and the channel first, and then we move into the Disney news. So as I told you guys a few times in the past, I actually work in video production for a sports team, so the good news is the season just ended this week, which means that I'm going to have a lot more time to make videos and move forward. So yeah, kind of use this weekend to sleep and recover a little bit, and now this week we're going to be moving towards doing the next video. So hopefully by the end of the week, you guys will have the Alice in Wonderland review. See, look, I have a whiteboard and everything, so we're ready to go. But enough about me, let's move on to the Disney news. So the big news this week comes out of Epcot, and it involves a new ride. So a report came out a few days ago that in early October they're going to be closing the Maelstrom attraction at Norway in Epcot in the World Showcase, and starting construction and opening up a Frozen ride. Now, really, this shouldn't come as too much as a surprise to people. I know I'm not really too shocked by it. I mean, obviously, Frozen was a mega success, and Norway was a pavilion already in the World Showcase. They'd already had meet and greets with Anna and Elsa and the other characters there, so really wasn't too shocked by the news that a Frozen ride was coming out. What I was a little surprised by was the reaction from people. It was actually a little more mixed than I anticipated. So pretty much you had two basic reactions. You had people who were very excited and love Frozen and ready for the ride and all that stuff. And then you had people who were a little, to avoid the pun, cool to the idea. Pretty much from what I've gathered, the people who weren't as excited about the new Frozen ride had two major complaints. And one of them, I think, is just in general, just kind of done with Frozen. You know, it's been a year now, and it's just been everywhere. The music is everywhere, and I think some people it's just it's been overexposed, oversaturated for them, and they're just kind of over it now. They're ready to move on to the next thing, which I can understand. I personally disagree. I'm always okay with, while I understand that there has been a lot of Frozen and that it can become tiresome, it is what it is. Disney is pushing it somewhat, but I think that just people in general and the public is the reason why it is still so relevant. And again, it was only a matter of time before an attraction showed up at Disney for Frozen. I mean, that was basically a foregone conclusion. So while I understand the whole aspect of kind of being tired of Frozen, I don't know, that argument doesn't hold too much water with me. The other major argument, and this one I kind of accept and understand a little bit more, is people who are afraid that this new Frozen ride and that the whole Frozen experience in general is going to be overshadowing the Norway Pavilion and what it was originally there for. Obviously, the World Showcase in general is there in order to kind of, educate, show the world, all that good stuff. And the fear is that with Frozen and with, all of this kind of emphasis on Frozen, that it's kind of shifting from becoming a Norway pavilion and its original intent of showing people the beauty and majesty that is Norway, and more becoming Arendelle. And in their defense, this is really the first time you're seeing a full-blown movie-based ride in Epcot, which is like true and not true, because there is kind of a Three Caballeros thing going on in the Mexico Pavilion, but it's still Mexico themed specifically, not so much Three Caballeros themed, so whatever. Anyway, this is really the first big kind of strict dark ride movie ride that's coming to the World Pavilion. And while I do understand this fear and argument, I think that a lot of it is overblown. Again, obviously Frozen has been a part of the Norway Pavilion for a little while now, and it really hasn't gotten too much in the way. And of course, Frozen was placed in Norway, and Frozen has done a lot for kind of awareness of the country of Norway as it is. Obviously, Disney has created more Disney adventures to Norway, and I think tourism in general has gone up to Norway because of the movie, so they really kind of go hand in hand. And also with some of the news and timelines that I've seen with this ride, I get the impression that it's really not going to encompass everything in the Norway Pavilion. The basic timelines are as such. I think October 5th, I believe, was the date that was going to be like the last day of the Maelstrom, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the Maelstrom ride too. It's been there since I think 1988, and you know it's kind of a cornerstone of Epcot and everything else. And it's sad to see it go. But that being said, Disney's always had a habit of evolving and moving forward and trying not to stay stale. And you know, again, is it sad to see the Maelstrom go? Yeah, but I understand it. Obviously, you know, there was going to be a Frozen ride. You're not going to have two rides in Norway. Sad, but it is time now for Maelstrom to leave. And honestly, the other thing that I see with all this is that it's going to increase the number of visitors to Epcot and the Norway Pavilion specifically, I think. And that's always a good thing. You know, it's always good to have stuff that people want to see, and I think that you have to change and evolve in order to get people to come in to keep coming to Epcot. You know, you don't want it to try to become stale. You know, you don't want to never change and be stuck, you know, in a rut for a number of years, because then sooner or later people are going to stop going. And then on top of that, selfishly, I always like when there are more attractions in an area that people want to go see, because the way that I look at it, if there's more big popular attractions, that means that the lines are going to be less for all of them in general, because you're splitting the population as opposed to there's only one big ride and everybody wants to do it, so 4-hour line it is for Soarin' in particular. So I believe October 5th was the last day for the Maelstrom, and 2016 is when they are planning on opening the Frozen ride, which may sound like a little bit of time, but when you consider that construction on the Frozen ride is starting in October, really is a quick turnaround, which leads me to believe that a lot of the elements from the Maelstrom ride will be recycled and reused for Frozen, which wouldn't be the first time Disney has done that. They do that a lot with when they're reskinning rides and kind of redoing rides. So I think that that's why the construction on it is so quick, and that's why they're able to get such a quick turnaround. So for those people who do love the Maelstrom, it seems like the spirit of it will still be there, just obviously Frozen themed. And the other cool thing about the construction and all that is that while this construction is going on, the Norway Pavilion will still be open, which leads me to believe that it's not a full-blown redo of the Norway Pavilion. I think that the parts that the travelers and that the traditionalists love of it will still be there. It's just, you know, there will also be Frozen with it too. And there hasn't been much kind of discussed about the ride yet. It sounds like it's going to be kind of like a highlight ride. I know they've said that all the favorite parts of Frozen will be on there. So, you know, I'm sure you're going to get a Let It Go scene and all that stuff. It's probably going to be some sort of a dark ride where, you kind of go through the highlights of the movie. And again, I'm assuming it'll probably be a boat ride for the simple fact that I get the impression they're kind of using elements from the Maelstrom. So, yeah, as we hear more, obviously, we'll know more about the ride, but from the basics that I've heard, it seems like that's the type of ride it's going to be. So, yeah, that's pretty much the big one in terms of news. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. What do you think of the Frozen ride coming to Norway? Are you sad to see the Maelstrom go? Are you one of the people who have concerns for the Norway Pavilion becoming Arendelle? Are you tired of Frozen? Really, whatever you guys want to talk about, leave in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, hopefully, I'm going to have a little more time on my hands now that my season is over. So hopefully I'll be able to make videos a little more consistently. I know I say that all the time, but for real this time. So yeah, look for the Alice in Wonderland video at the end of the week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.